following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello, and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, brought to you by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins. I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. Neil, how are you, man?
I got a tummy ache.
Right before you were about to leave on vacation?
I got, so sometimes good intentions are bad because I received from a company I used to work for, I received a little box of candy, like hard candy. And, they're not, and I've been just going to town on them. And they're like disgusting, but I can't stop eating them, and now I have a tummy ache. So yeah, that's where I am. Yeah,
Neil, I feel your pain, man, and I can relate to you because this past weekend when I was at that Great Wolf Lodge place, I was taking down these like sugary margarita like drinks. My wife came and brought me like a plate full of French fries with like cheese and bacon on top of it. And so I took down these fries and I was drinking all these sugary drinks. I had, I think, the worst stomach ache I've had like in my life. Like I thought I was going to die. So I'm sure yours is nowhere near the stomach ache I was feeling the other day. So I feel your pain, man. I can relate to what you're going through.
It's a rough life, Adrian. Let me tell you, it is.
Third world problem.
Yes, it is.
Problem,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. I shouldn't complain. Yeah. So we've got a big slate tonight. What's on your mind before we get started?
You know what? I don't want to waste any time. We've probably already wasted too much time. We got
Really?
like 10 games on the slate tonight. Okay, as far as news goes, one thing that I do want to mention that I think it's worth talking about. Have you been following any of this dysfunction that's going on with the Washington Wizards? Buzz that John Wall had a verbal altercation with Coach Brooks, and I believe he received some sort of fine from the team. What are your thoughts on this, Neil? A lot of buzz that they're going to blow it up, that everyone's available from John Wall to Bradley Beal. Nobody is off the table. What do you think about this, Neil?
Yeah, this one, I was worried this was going to come because this team has just not been good this year, and their core has not got them very far in the Eastern Conference, down the in the playoff run. So this seems like a coach firing in the making or a team splitting up. I was listening to another podcast today where they talked about Otto Porter. They expect him to be gone in some sort of trade package. And so I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. This makes me a little nervous to touch any of those guys. Obviously, I think Beal and Wall will be safe no matter where they end up. I can't imagine a team would take them and not have them in their starting rotation, and they would just do the relative same usage. But the other guys, I'm not sure how it's going to play out. This could obviously open up opportunities for guys like Kelly Oubre, who you mentioned yesterday, if they find their way in the starting position or if they get traded somewhere else where they find themselves in the starting role or a bigger role. So it's a little just disheartening that there's so much tension there because I do like these players. I like watching them play, and we'll see how it plays out.
So this is complete speculation on my part, but Neil, sometimes you get that like intuition, this gut feeling, and I kind of get this feeling, Neil, about Kelly Oubre that maybe he's worth a stash. He's flashed glimpses of a solid play, and if this team goes for a full rebuild, if they're going to get rid of Wall, Beal, or Porter, or some combination of the two, let's say they don't get a megastar back and they're just getting high draft picks or young pieces, I think Kelly Oubre could be a major beneficiary of something like that. So now, most all leagues, it's a wait and see approach. But Neil, in some really deep leagues I'm in where you gotta be the first to act, I may grab Kelly Oubre where I can in some deep leagues just to see what happens here. I don't know, man. Just an inkling I'm feeling. Just like I'm just getting this urge that it could be a good stash. It's complete speculation on my part. It could be completely nothing here, but I don't know, man.
No, not a bad idea at all. I like it. He's actually 134. I'm seeing overall or per game, and I think I have 9-cat currently up. So he's already worth owning in deeper leagues. So if he's there, why not? He could definitely break out. I mean, we've seen his stat sets when he gets the starting role and he gets a lot of run. He can put up top 75 type numbers in a heartbeat. So I like that. I don't think I have any place where I can really stash him. I've got other guys like Tyler Johnson at the bottom of my roster and Jeremy Lin, who we'll get to later, but I'm not sure how those guys are going to flush out this season, but I like it. I always like taking, I'd rather be early and then be wrong and then drop than be late. So.
Yes. In a few leagues I'm in, man, if you wait for it to happen, you're probably already too late. Where if you try to get ahead of the storm and if you try to just make the move before it happens, sometimes the payoff could be big. And I don't know. In almost all standard leagues, we can take a wait and see approach here. But in some deeper leagues, I'm going to go ahead and just make the ad and see what happens. All right, Neil, we got to jump into these games, man. We've got a full plate. We got like a Thanksgiving plate in front of us that's like overloaded with stuffing and turkey, and it's out of control, man. So we got to dive in here, Neil. We got to start eating, man.
You're making my tummy ache worse. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll start us off then.
Do it.
I've got the first game tonight. Was I don't even know. Was it Boston Charlotte?
We could go Boston Charlotte. I got Phoenix Philly, but Boston.
Phoenix Philly. Time. You're right. I'll go there. Phoenix actually put up really good fight. I saw some of this game. I saw the first half of it. They were leading at the first half, but Philly kind of came back at the end. Some news about Embiid and some hand, issues that perhaps have Embiid owners worrying and Philly fans worrying, but it turned out to be just fine. He played. I guess you can get to that side. But on the Phoenix side, TJ Warren's still looking like a great pickup if you got him. Played 39 minutes, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 of 15 shooting, 3 of 4 from the line, 2 3-pointers and a block. Just a great shooter, and he's now developed that 3-point game and can get some defensive stats. Trevor Ariza back in the starting lineup. Played 41 minutes, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 of 8 shooting, 2 3-pointers, got his steals, 3 of them a block. DeAndre Ayton played 27 minutes, had 17, 9, and 1. Great percentage, 8 of 11 shooting, and a steal. Devin Booker put up his points, 37 with 3 rebounds, 8 assists. Shot decently, 13 of 28, something to worry about if you have him. 6 3-pointers and just 2 turnovers. Mikal Bridges, who I picked up in one of our leagues. I don't know if it's the league I'm in with you, but he did start tonight, played 23 minutes, 13 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. I am a fan of this guy. 5 of 7 from the field, 3 3-pointers, 2 steals. I think he easily jumps in the top 100 if he starts to get close to 30 minutes a game. Rashawn Holmes got 21 minutes. I think that this might be because they're playing Philly and he used to be there. Isaiah Cannon is now relegated to the bench, 21 minutes. Jamal Crawford got 16 minutes. Josh Jackson has lost any sort of fantasy potential, down to 12 minutes. And Okobo didn't play. Dragan Bender didn't play. Ryan Anderson didn't play. So they've got a lot of dead weight there, unfortunately, in Phoenix. My thoughts on this is Mikal Bridges, if he's there, I would pick him up. He is not owning a lot of leagues. I think 13%. He's already jumped up to 135 and 9-cat per game, and that should go up into the inside 100, I think, if he continues to get lots of minutes. And that's all I'm taking away from this. TJ Warren, obviously, if you own him, maybe sell high, but I think he's going to be strong throughout the rest of the season.
So one of the things, Neil, I was really excited about is Trevor Ariza returned tonight and Mikal Bridges stuck in that starting lineup. I thought that was a really good sign for him. Now, there was some buzz before the game that the Suns decided to make that move because they wanted to kind of match. Philly has a really long a long starting lineup, a lot of length in that starting lineup, and they wanted to match that with Ariza, TJ Warren, Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker. So I really hope that this sticks because, like you, Neil, I would love to see Mikal Bridges. If he can just get starter type minutes, he will definitely be useful in fantasy because he's got that stat set, that all-around stat set, can provide stats in multiple categories. So I love him as a pickup. He's floating right now in my 14-team home league, Neil. I may make the switch on him tonight. I probably would have to drop like Cody Zeller or something, but I might do it, man. I think I'm going to make that move. All right, you covered everything else. I'm going to switch over to the Philly side. As you mentioned, a little concern on Embiid coming in this game, but he looked just fine, played a whopping 36 minutes, and the usage was through the roof. 12 of 23 from the field, 9 of 12 from the line for 33 points, a block, 3 steals, and assists, 17 rebounds tonight. Actually fouled out of this game with 6 fouls, but hey, who cares? Jimmy Butler with 16 points, 2 steals and assists, 3 rebounds, a perfect 8-8 from the field, 4-9 from the line. Simmons having a really good game here, flirting with the triple-double, 19 points, 9 assists, 11 rebounds, 1 steal. 1 of 6 from the line's not great, but still shot real nice from the field, 9 of 13. You'll take that line. Wilson Chandler, man, not doing much in 31 minutes. The usage is low. 2 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, only took 4 shots in 31 minutes. So he's really not seeing any plays, not getting a lot of shots. JJ Redick, 17 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 threes tonight, shot 6 of 13, 3 of 4 from the line. It's a pretty good game from Redick. Neil, I watched this game. He got popped in the face, went back in the locker room, came back to the bench, but didn't matter. It looks like he still saw some good minutes here tonight. Mike Muscala, nice contribution off the bench. 19 points, 5 rebounds in 23 minutes. He added 2 threes, 4 of 6 from the field, 9 of 11 from the line. Went to the line quite a bit. Not too much else here to talk about, Neil. Fultz, man, 7 minutes, 0 points, man. It is ugly for this guy. Neil, I'm seeing him on the wire everywhere, even in my deep 14-team leagues, and I have no desire to pick this guy up. What a bummer. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Sixers?
Yeah, great night from Embiid, like you said. This is going to be a fun team to watch come playoff time. I think the one fantasy thing I'm watching is just Mike Muscala. He was the one piece that I thought might get some value with the loss of Covington and who am I thinking of? Sorry, the other player. Sarge, yes.
Sarge.
I know Butler came over. I thought Muscala might be a deep league guy. So far, he hasn't done a whole lot. Still watching him for my 14-team league. Not ready to pick him up just yet, but I will see what happens. If Embiid were to go down, I would think he becomes viable pretty quickly in that size format and maybe even standard format. So keep an eye on him. Other than that, though, no other news, no other thoughts on Philadelphia.
All right, man. Where do you want to go next?
Utah, Indiana. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Man, what is up with your guy?
Very disappointing,
Just
Neil.
a struggling night. Okay, let's go through this. It's funny. This Utah team's so hard to figure out. They went into Boston. They got a nice win. And now they go to Indiana and get blown out. And Oladipo, as we'll get to, wasn't playing. All right, so Utah loses 94-121. Just a lot of poor performances tonight from Utah. Start with Donovan Mitchell. 3 of 8 shooting, just took 8 shots, 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a block, 3 turnovers. Rudy Gobert did double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 2 of 4 from the line, a steal, no blocks, so just very pedestrian night. All these guys, although I will say Rubio had a solid night, 28 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 10 of 13 shooting, something you won't see very often, but good to see tonight. 5 of 6 from three-pointers, 3 steals and a block, so a very strong night from him. My man Joe Ingles, oh man, so disappointing for him too. 5 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. Just a single three-pointer and a block. Derek Favors, someone who is now fallen to 124 in ACAT, and I still have him in a deeper league, a 14-team league, and he might be replaced at some point. Tonight, just 5 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. He did get 2 blocks. Off the bench, Crowder had a solid game, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 three-pointers, and 2 blocks. Dante Exum, someone who Adrian, I'm still trying to figure out DFS. I started Dante Exum, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 turnovers in just 18 minutes. I thought he could get a lot of run tonight. Obviously, I was wrong about that. Royce O'Neal played 15 minutes. Thabo Cephalosius, 12. Alex Brooks got 11 minutes. Halu Neto, 9. And that's basically it. Just kind of a dud of a game for these guys. A lot of them didn't get to 30 minutes because it was a blowout. Not sure what to make of the Jazz.
Neil, have you ever seen that movie? I think it's called The Change Up with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, where they're like peeing in a fountain and they accidentally switch bodies. I think that's what happened with Donovan Mitchell and Ricky Rubio tonight. What is going on, man? How did Rubio go take 13 shots and Donovan Mitchell only take 8? And this is crazy, man. And Donovan Mitchell is really letting me down. I'm super bummed out right now, man. I need this guy to come around. My team needs him, Neil. I'm floating in the middle of the table in my home league. I need to make a run at the top, and I need Donovan Mitchell to wake up in order to make this happen. So that's all I got on the Jazz, man. I'm bummed out right now.
Yeah, he slipped down to 61 in ACAT. Jeez. This is just unfortunate.
This is a guy I drafted in round 2 of this league, Neil. I'm just so depressed, man. Look, season's still fairly young, so come on, Donovan Mitchell. Come around, man. I still believe in you. All right, I'm going to jump in on the Pacers side, and I'm going to start with a bench guy, Neil. I'm going to start with Sabonis, who has 19 points. He flirted with the triple-double tonight. 19 points, 9 assists, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 threes tonight. Actually went a perfect 2 of 2 from downtown, 7 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from the line. Neil, Miles Turner left this game with an ankle injury, ended up coming back to the game, but if at any time of the season Miles Turner goes down, Sabonis is already a solid fantasy play. If Miles Turner ever goes down, Sabonis is going to leap into some major value. So keep an eye on that. Bojan Bogdanovic, 21 points, 2 steals, and assists, 2 rebounds, shot a really nice 9 of 14 from the field, 3 of 4 from downtown. Love that. Thaddeus Young with 12 points, 3 steals, and assists, 4 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field is nice. Darren Collison, no Victor Oladipo in this game. So Darren Collison saw 27 minutes, kind of still had a somewhat of an underwhelming line with 9 points. Did have 7 assists and 6 rebounds, a steal, and a 3. So a pretty decent line from him. Tyreek Evans also getting the start here with Victor Oladipo out. The shooting wasn't happening from Tyreek tonight. Shot a poor 3 of 12 for 8 points. Did add 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 rebounds. Miles Turner doing what Miles Turner does, which is be a little. He's pretty mediocre, Neil. 12 points. Did have actually 3 blocks and a steal, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. So this is actually a pretty decent 9-cat line, although the shooting wasn't great. 5 for 12, 1-3 tonight. And Neil, maybe the biggest surprise of the night is Aaron Holiday off the bench, 19 points, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. Neil, it's not going to be this season, but in future seasons, when maybe 2 seasons from now, or when Darren Collison's no longer on this team, Aaron Holiday is the point guard of the future for this Pacers team. And so keep an eye on him. Don't think it's going to happen for him this season, but just a guy to keep in the back of your mind. McDermott played nice off the bench with 12 points. Not much else here, Neil. What do you think, man?
Yeah, just to talk about Oladipo quickly, he just has some soreness in his right knee. Seems like it's not that big of a deal, and he should be back. Expect to be back next game, so not really an injury report, just a day-to-day issue. Miles Turner, just a disappointment this year. What was I going to say? Darren Collison and Tyreek did okay. They stepped up a little bit tonight, but you expect more out of them when the big dog's out. So I'm not doing much here. Bojan is on my watch list as a 3-and-D guy. Tonight he kind of delivered, but I'm a little skeptical about his value when Oladipo's in there. So even though he's 91st per game, still not into it. So anyway, I'm holding off on him. And I like your take on Aaron Holiday. I have not seen him play, so I've got to check out that guy and see what he can do. I know they definitely need a point guard of the future. I don't think Collison's going to have much value, in the years to come. So it's good to have someone they can develop there. All right. Any other thoughts before we move on?
3 holidays in the NBA, Neil.
Are these guys all brothers?
Yeah, I believe they are all 3 brothers. Their family must be very proud, man.
There are so many brother combinations in the NBA right now. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Anyway, I could go on for that forever. But maybe we should go to the next game of the night. I've got Cleveland, Detroit.
Yep.
All right. Detroit wins 113-102. Cleveland, Cedi Osman back in the starting lineup, played 30 minutes, 10, 3, and 2 with a 3-pointer and a steal. Larry Nance gets the start, but only 20 minutes. I don't know what to make of this guy. I don't want to give up on him, but nights like tonight make me want to. 4 points, 5 rebounds, just 1 assist, just 4 shots, just in a single steal. Tristan Thompson, 10, 7, and 2 with a steal, no blocks for him tonight. Colin Sexton, 18 points, a rebound, 4 assists. I think he's come along just fine. Did go 4-6 from the line, which is a little down because he's like a 90% shooter. 2 3-pointers, though, which is good to see, and then a steal. Rodney Hood, 12 points, a rebound, 3 assists, 2 steals. And then Clarkson off the bench, 16, 4, and 4. I like this guy if you need sort of someone to come in and give you points. 6 of 11 tonight shooting, a 3-pointer. David Nwaba, someone who puts up a good stat set if he gets the time. Tonight, just 22 minutes, 7, 4, and 0, so not really worth owning. And then Kyle Korver gets 18 minutes, and some other players got in there too. J.R. Smith, 6. So this is a team that I think only has a couple guys you can trust. I'm trusting Sexton going forward, at least until George Hill gets back. We'll see how that plays out. I still think Sexton can be fine after that. Osman, I think, is going to be decent. I know he had kind of started off hot and has kind of cooled off since. But I think he's going to get a lot of runs, so we see how that works out. And then that's really it. Maybe Tristan Thompson. I don't know. When I say trust, I just mean they're going to get the minutes, and eventually they'll put up good stats. But right now it's a struggle for those guys.
I am seeing Cedi Osman getting dropped in quite a few leagues, Neil. I'm grabbing him to see if he can still figure things out and emerge as the solid fantasy asset I thought he could be this year. Neil, you and I were talking about Colin Sexton when George Hill was still starting, and I'm really happy to see him playing well. The 18 points in just 24 minutes. One of the things that I was still worried about was his shooting, and shot a really nice 6 of 10 from the field tonight. So that's beautiful. And as you said, Neil, stick with Larry Nance. Hang on to him, man, because he can provide defensive stats, which we know is fantasy gold. He can help rebounds, points. He's even capable of giving you a 3 now and then. So I really think with his upside, he's worth hanging on to see. This Cavs team is so ugly, man. So at some point you have to think that they just give the minutes to the youngsters and let them go. And so anyways, man, other than that, Jordan Clarkson, I'm seeing him streamed in quite a few leagues, and I see it again why tonight with 16 points, 4 assists, and he's been pretty solid. So anyways, man, Cleveland Cavs, they are what they are. We'll see how it goes, man. All right, I'm going to jump into the Detroit Pistons side, Neil. I'm going to start with Andre Drummond, who I feel like he's been just on a tear lately. 23 points, 16 rebounds, three blocks tonight. Neil, this guy used to kill you from the line. He shot 3 of 3 from the line tonight, 10 of 19 from the field. Blake Griffin, a guy who I was like staying away from, I feel like he's having a spectacular season as well. 21 points, a block, a steal, 5 assists, 12 rebounds, even gave you 2 threes tonight, shot a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. This is another guy who used to kill you from the line in seasons past. 7 of 12 from the field, nice game from him. Reggie Bullock, a guy who was hot at the beginning of the season, then got hurt, kind of came back down. Here we go again. Back up, 21 points, 4 assists, a rebound, 6 of 9 from the field. He added 4 threes tonight. If you need some points, you need some threes. He usually helps out in those categories. Reggie Jackson, 13 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 of 8 from the field, 3 threes. Neil, I was pretty excited to see Glenn Robinson get the start because his team is primarily healthy, but man, it's just the lowest minute total on the starters with only 20, the lowest usage of any of these starters with only 5 shots tonight. He only made 2 of them for 5 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. I don't think we need to make any kind of move on Glenn Robinson. Galloway, a guy who was a really popular ad at the beginning of the season, kind of fallen off again, although the minutes and the usage still are encouraging, man. 29 minutes, took 11 shots. It just wasn't falling tonight. Only made 2 of them and scored 6 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Not too much else to talk about. Smith added 11 points tonight. Stanley Johnson with 9 points out of 14 minutes. Not really happening for him. Not too much else here, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Pistons?
Yeah, I'll start off with Blake Griffin. What an amazing season. I didn't see this coming either. I knew he was going to be motivated there, and I talked about how I thought the Pistons would make the playoffs this year because I thought they had a better coaching upgrade, and I thought Blake would be motivated to try to prove something. But I didn't think he was going to be this good as a fantasy player. I didn't think his stat set could hold up, but I have him 21st overall, an ACAP per game, and that's just fantastic. Yeah, it's so frustrating. I really want to trust a wing on this player, and I want it to be Reggie Bullock. Tonight, like you said, he had a good game, but it was against Cleveland, so I'm not really trusting this line, but I'm still going to watch him and see. So that's all I take away.
All right, man. Where should we go next?
Should we go to, is it Clippers Atlanta?
Yes.
Is that what you got? Okay. Sorry, my thing's out of order, so I want to just double check every time. All right, so Clippers got a nice win on the road, 127-119. Speaking of playoff contenders, they may be competing out west. Let's see. Start with Tobias Harris, 33 minutes, 24 points, 8 rebounds, and assists, 8 of 15 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line, 4 3-pointers, a steal, and 2 blocks. This is one guy I think we both had pegged as a third or fourth round draft pick, and he's working out just fine. Marcin Gortat, I don't know why I'm going to go with him next, but just because he's the most interesting one this year. Just getting that 16 minutes in the starter's role, 5.7 rebounds, 3 assists in a block. Beverly, just 19 minutes, 4, 4, and 4 with no defensive stats with 3-pointers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looking solid, 16, 2, and 1, 5 of 9 from the field, 6 of 8 from the line, a block and a steal. Another starter is Avery Bradley. Just played 20 minutes, though, and no really fantasy value. The guy you want to own on this team, Montrezl Harrell, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 15 out of 18 from the free throw line.
Wow.
Not known as a good free throw shooter, but this year has had some great nights. 5 steals and 2 blocks. Lou Williams, a great night off the bench as well, 16.7 and 11 assists. Did struggle shooting 4-15, but 8 of 9 from the line. Let's see. Who is Mike Scott got 28 minutes, 18 and 7, 1. So an interesting line from him. Boban got 10 minutes. Teodosi got 10 minutes as well. I'll tell you what, it's so interesting when your second best fantasy player is a bench player and your fourth best fantasy player is a bench player. I don't know if that's just how it should work or something's quirky in LA, but anyway, good to see Montrez having a great season, and this Clippers team is doing well. They're competitive out there.
So Avery Bradley returned to the lineup tonight, Neil, and I was slightly concerned that it could hurt Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I was very happy to see Alexander still with 29 minutes and a good scoring line tonight. I think that's a really good sign because I would just want him to keep progressing and improving. And as you said, man, Montrezl Harrell, wow. 15 out of 18 from the line is just outstanding from a guy who you mentioned not known to help you at the charity stripe. All right, now I'm going to move over to the Atlanta Hawks and really excited to see John Collins back. Still it looks like his minutes are capped at that 20-minute mark. Got 21 minutes tonight and still had a great game. Shot 7 of 10 for 18 points. 2 threes tonight, also added 6 assists, 3 rebounds, no defensive stats, which is a little disappointing, but this guy's still finding his bearings, still getting his footing, didn't have a preseason, missed the beginning of the season, so he's just going to keep getting stronger as the year goes on. Trae Young tonight, 25 points, 17 assists tonight is outstanding. Now, hurt you from the field with 8 of 22, was nice from the line for 8 of 9 there, 1 3 tonight. Taurean Prince with 21 points, 2 steals, 4 rebounds, 3 threes tonight, 8 of 15 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. Bazemore, real letdown here with just 4 points, only took 4 shots in 26 minutes and made 2 of them. Did add 8 rebounds, 2 blocks is nice, but still somewhat of a disappointing line. It was Alex Len stepping up in the front court here. 12 points, 2 blocks, 12 rebounds here. He even added a 3, shot a nice 5 of 9 from the field. That was pretty good. Amari Spellman got the start here, but only saw 14 minutes, 7 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, was 3 of 6 from the field, 1 3. He may have left this game due to an injury, right hip contusion. So that could be why he only got the 14 minutes here. Dwayne Dedman stepping up off the bench with a double-double, 13 points, 12 rebounds, a steal, 2 blocks. Definitely take this line from him. 5 of 13 from the field. He shot a 3. He actually shot 4 threes and made 1 tonight. It's pretty good. Ben Breeze been disappointed with just 2 points. Herter not doing much with just 8 points. Jeremy Lin really took a back seat in this one, only getting 13 minutes for 7 points. Neil, I'm really happy to see Justin Anderson back in this. I think it's his first game of the season. We're not really paying attention to this guy in standard leagues, but in really deep leagues, I'm curious if Justin Anderson can possibly, at some point of the season, be worth a pickup. This is a guy a few seasons ago I thought could be a decent fantasy asset, and it just hasn't happened for him. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Atlanta Hawks, man?
My thoughts are when I was drafting my team and John Collins was injured, I passed on him in every draft, and now is a time I kick myself in the head because in 20 minutes, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 to 10, 2 3-pointers. He is going to be, if not the number one option, he'll be 1A next to Trae Young for the remainder of the season, and he's going to have a fantasy bonanza. Did you have him on a team? Did you get him?
So, he got hurt early enough in the preseason where, if you were doing your drafts right before the start of regular season, Neil, it was really tough to draft him because, you were comparing him with guys like Jared Allen, DeAndre Ayton, I remember, Miles Turner. And when you're looking at those guys and Collins is out with an ankle injury and you really have no idea when he's coming back, he's going to miss the start of the season, it was really tough to draft him over those other guys that I mentioned. So, Neil, like you, I did not end up with, I think I do have one share of him, and it might be the Hoop Ball Staff League. I think that I might have him in. I'm not sure. So I was able to get him in one league, but yeah, Neil, just like you, I missed out on him, and I agree with you, man. He is going to be a major fantasy contributor from this point on, or as soon as he cracks that starting lineup and he gets starter minutes, he's going to be, he could be a top 30 guy easily. So, and especially on this Hawks team, Neil, who's tanking, they really lack a lot of talent in that front court where he's going to be. So he really has an opportunity here to just step in and go crazy. And anyways, any last thoughts here?
Yeah, just quickly, Trae Young, just to see, he had a breakout night, so to speak, in this assist category with 17 assists and 25 points. It wasn't very efficient, 22 shots, but did go 8 and 9 from the line. He's going to put up some ridiculous popcorn numbers. If you could handle the field goal percent and the turnovers, if you're not in 9-cat, then he's one to watch or maybe try to trade for, because I think he's going to continue to have these like eye-popping numbers every other game or every third game and have solid lines throughout. And then finally, good to see Taurean Prince back and playing well. Yeah, so the next one I've got is San Antonio, New Orleans. 140, another high-scoring game, 140-126, San Antonio on the short end on a back-to-back night. Tonight they started, let's start with Aldridge. After having a monster night last night, just 7 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, just 2 of 11 shooting, going up against Anthony Davis probably doesn't help. DeMar DeRozan, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 7 to 7 from the line. Did not take a 3-pointer though, and just a single steal. Dante Cunningham has gotten this a lot of a high energy guy, and tonight he had a good fantasy line: 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 5 shooting. So this is someone to watch as well. I don't think he's really owned anywhere. Adrian, maybe I can get your opinion on him. I have not been scouting him too much. I thought he was not going to be was not that good last year or the last couple of years, but maybe he's going to be worth taking a look at. Rudy Gay, someone I do have in a couple leagues and I like very much. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Shot was off tonight though, just 6 of 18, and missed all his 3-pointers. Did go 5 of 5 from the free throw line. Bryn Forbes gets a start at shooting guard, 28. Maybe he's point guard. 28 minutes, 20 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Still not really trusting his fantasy value. Bellinelli, 26 minutes off the bench. Portal, 15 minutes off the bench. He's starting to increase in minutes as Powell is inactive for now. Derek White, just 13 minutes, someone we talked about yesterday, I don't think is worth owning unless you're in a really deep league. Just 2, 2, and 3, and not much else to speak of. Yeah, I guess Dante Cunningham is the one person here that is probably not owned by many teams and perhaps could be fantasy relevant, certainly in 14-team leagues.
Yeah, I agree with you, Neil. He's looked good, and man, was perfect tonight. Man, set that 7 of 7 from the field, 5 of 5 from 3-point range. I mean, geez, Louise, he really had the shot going tonight. You got to be for sure in deeper leagues, man, because I think there's going to be some nights where if the shot's not falling, he doesn't usually do a lot in those other stats, so he could really give you some low-end lines. No Gasol tonight. Bertans was also out of the lineup tonight. He's not like a minute guy, but he does see some minutes in that backup rotation role, so that could cut into Cunningham a bit. But, yeah, I think he's definitely worth a look in deeper leagues. All right, Matt, I'm going to move over to the Pelicans side. Going to talk about your boy, Anthony Davis, 29 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 4 assists, 9 rebounds, 13 of 22 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line, just filling it up all over the place. Drew Holiday with 21 points, 2 steals, a block, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 threes tonight, 8 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from the line. I guess if I had to find a gripe, Neil, and maybe he had 5 turnovers tonight, but still a pretty good line from Drew Holiday. Etuan Moore, a guy who he's been scoring really nice of late. 24 points in this one, a steal, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 of 3 from the downtown, 11 of 16 from the field. Love that usage. Played 30 minutes. I think this guy's got to get picked up in most leagues if he's available and you need some scoring help. Mirotic didn't take a lot of shots in this one. Made 4 of 7 for 13 points. Did have a steal and a block for 5 rebounds. It's an okay game. Did also add 3 threes tonight, which is nice. Let's take a look. Julius Randle with a beautiful triple-double, actually. In 25 minutes, had 21 points, 10 assists, 14 rebounds, added a steal, shot a very efficient 9 of 13 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. Love this line tonight from Julius Randle. Not too much else going on here, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Pelicans?
Yeah, Etuan Moore, someone I've kind of avoided as well, but I think he's 88 on a per game basis in ACAT. I mean, that is well inside ownership range, and he does it with, like you said, points, 3-pointers, and field goal percent. So if you need a boost to any of those categories, scoop him up. Doesn't really hurt you too much in anywhere. Not a big defensive guy, but gets the occasional steal, and just a solid player. He's always going to have the minutes. I guess you worry about sometimes the shot being enough for him, but he's gotten the trust of that team, and he gets a lot of minutes night in, night out. So,
hey, one thing I want to add real quick. Elfrid Payton, he looks like he underwent surgery for a fractured left pinky. He's expected to miss the next 6 weeks. Now, Neil, he's already missed time at the beginning of the season, so we kind of already know who the guys are you want to own. But I also think Moore is a guy who could see he's getting a lot of shots in this offense, and that could possibly be because Peyton's out, and they're really relying on him to be that wing scoring guy. So as you said, Neil, I think Moore is a great ad here. All right.
All right. Where are we off to next?
I think we may have missed Boston. And Charlotte.
We did. Miss Boston and Charlotte.
That was one of the earlier. That was one of the earlier games, and I think we passed on that one.
All right. 117-112. Boston goes down. Second loss in a row. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, Kyrie Irving had a monster line, 27 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists. Just a single three-pointer, but 2 steals. Let's see. Oh, I guess the big news here, Gordon Hayward coming off the bench. Get to him in a second. Start with the starters here. Jason Tatum, 30 minutes, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Just 1 of 4 from the line. That kind of stinks. A three-pointer, steal and a block. Al Horford, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4-6 shooting, 3 blocks. Let's see. Aaron Baines gets a start as well. Just played 7 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds. So not much to talk about there. Hayward got 31 minutes off the bench, 4 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. He's climbing back up. He's now around 70th overall in ACAP, but gosh, I think you probably drafted him higher than that. Marcus Smart got 14 minutes, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 4 3-pointers, 2 steals. And Marcus Morris, 9 and 8 and 1 with no defensive stats and no 3-pointers. We've talked about this team before. It's hard to know who's going to have a good on a night-to-night basis. Kyrie Irving has now climbed into the top 10 in 8-cat per game value. You went kind of late second round, but he is delivering. Everyone else is sort of underperforming their draft value. I wouldn't touch any of them. Jaylen Brown is now outside the top 200, which is crazy to think about. Jason Tatum outside the top. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at just 1 week stats. Never mind. Take that back. Take that back. Okay. Gordon Hayward is 70 in the last week, but still 130, so he's doing horribly. Jaylen Brown, yes, he is outside the top 200, 257. Kyrie Irving is 13th overall. Horford 66. None of these guys are producing their value except for Kyrie. So a tough team to really read and get behind in terms of fantasy.
You covered it all, man. And as we've mentioned in previous shows, really happy to have avoided most of this team. I actually think Gordon Hayward move to the bench might be good for him. He kind of needs to get his confidence back. And, still you could tell he's not 100% off of missing all of last year with that injury. So I don't think we're going to see the old Gordon Hayward till maybe the end of the year or maybe not even until next year, man. But hey, still got 31 minutes, and I think him playing against second units could be good for him, could help him get his confidence back. So, but as you mentioned, Neil, I'm not excited about any other of these guys except for Kyrie Irving. I'm going to look over at the Charlotte Hornets side, and how can I not start with Kemba Walker? Neil, this guy is on another planet right now. I think he had 60 points the other night. I saw something on Twitter that in like the last 2 games, he scored over 100 points. He's just going bonkers right now. 43 points tonight. He had a steal, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. A shot 14 out of 25 is unbelievable. Neil, he shot 7 of 13 from 3-point range, which is what most guys shoot in a regular game just altogether. His line from 3-point land was like what most guys just shoot in general in a whole game. Out of control. 8 of 9 from the line tonight. What can you say about Kemba Walker having an MVP type season? Neil, we expected this. We talked about it coming into the year that we thought he was poised to just be the number one guy. We were talking about how he could jump into like end of the first round value. So this is great to see. Nicholas Batum with 9 points, a steal, and assists with 8 rebounds, 3 of 10 from the field. So shot a lot tonight. It just wasn't falling. If he would have got his points up higher, this would have looked like a much nicer line. But I think still a great sign. He saw 36 minutes and took a lot of shots. 2 threes tonight, 1 and 2 from the line. Cody Zeller, man, a guy who the minutes are great, man. 32 minutes, but just the usage is so low. He only made 3 shots for 7 points. A steal, a block, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. I'm clinging on to him in 14-team leagues. But, Neil, I'm about to make the drop for guys like Mikal Bridges and some of these other guys that we've talked about. I just would rather take a shot on some upside because we know what Cody Zeller is, and at this point, it's a low-end center. Jeremy Lamb has taken over this wing spot. It's no longer we are no longer worrying about Malik Monk, who only saw 8 minutes. Lamb got 28 minutes, put up 18 points, 6 rebounds. No defensive stats, no assists, no threes, which is really disappointing. But you got to be happy that he is the guy now, and the 13 shots is great. Marvin Williams here, 7 points, 6 rebounds, and assists. No defensive stats. It just really is not happening for him. Miles Bridges, a guy that I'm stashing in a few leagues, not happening for him either. In fact, I'll probably be dropping him here if I have the urge to pick up anyone. Hernan Gomez with 14 points in 16 minutes is nice, but we're not going to trust him if he's going to get 16 minutes a game. Neil, what are your thoughts here on the Charlotte Hornets?
Man, it's the Kemba Walker show, as you said, and it's been the show since day one. I thought this distribution of shot attempts would not be so one-sided, but it has been consistently one-sided since the beginning of the season, and it's working. This team is playing well. They look like they can beat, obviously, Boston, so they can beat good teams. It'll be interesting to see if Kemba can keep this up. Like you said, it's an MVP-type season, and happy for him. As a Batum and Lamb owner, a little sad because I expected more to go around. And I will say with you, is Cody Zeller, probably the most boring person in fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
When he gets like 10 and 10, it's like I go crazy. You know? And he'll play like 38 minutes. It's nuts. Anyway, that's all I really got from this team. Yeah, Malik Monk, like you said, flirted with that, taking over some more minutes. Miles Bridges. Both those guys will be solid rotation players maybe, but I think Lamb and Batum are safe for now. All right. Where do we leave off? I think we're heading down towards Denver, Milwaukee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Denver loses 104-98. I'll start off with my second favorite player in the league, Nikola Jokic. 33 minutes, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 of 18 shooting, 3 3-pointers, and a steal. Jamal Murray had a solid night, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 of 14 shooting, 2 3-pointers, and a block. Gary Harris, 14 points, no rebounds, did have 6 assists on 6 of 16 shooting, 2 3-pointers, and a steal. Millsap having a decent, well, he's having a decent season, but just a role player now. 8 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Did make both his free throws, a steal and a block. A guy I picked up recently, Juancho Hernan Gomez. You know, Adrian, I was like, I'm not going to start him tonight because he might have to go up against, the great one. And I was but oftentimes when I do that, it's like the exact opposite happens. So I started him. And of course, he went 6 points, 7 rebounds, no assists, 2 of 10 shooting, 1 of 5 from the 3-point land, and a steal. The fact he got 29 minutes in a competitive game, I love it. This guy, I think, sky's the limit. Even when Will Barton comes back, Will Barton's not the same guy. I mean, this guy's 6'9", I believe, or 6'11". I mean, he's much different sized, plays a much different role. So he'll get close to 30 minutes, I think, consistently through the end of the season, unless he starts to play poorly. Off the bench, Monte Morris got 25 minutes, 10, 3, and 4 with no defensive stats, no 3-pointers. Malik Beasley, 12, 4, and 2, 4 3-pointers, and a steal. But this is just like streaky. It's hard to trust that. Trey Lyles has been relegated to the bench, just 16 minutes. Same with Mason Plumlee, just 15 minutes tonight. My takeaway is Hernan Gomez. If you need someone who might bust out and he's still out there, I would take him, as I have. Good to see Jamal Murray bounce back, have a good game. Gary Harris looking solid. That's all I got. What are your thoughts?
I love your take on Hernan Gomez, Neil. You were reading my mind. Forget about the 6 points. He played 29 minutes, played 29 minutes, and got 10 shots in this offense. Neil, if that shot fell tonight, we'd be looking at a much nicer line here. You guys, if somebody drops Hernan Gomez tonight because he got 6 points, snatch him up, man, because he caught my attention in the last game. And to me, this is exactly what I wanted to see, the 29 minutes and the 10 shots he took tonight. So go get Hernan Gomez if he somehow got dropped or he's still available in your league. Neil, I'm going to jump in on the Milwaukee Bucks side. Got to start with the Greek freak, Giannis, 29 points. No blocks tonight is a little disappointing, but 2 steals, 6 assists, 12 rebounds, 13 of 25 from the field. Took 6 threes tonight, didn't hit one, but still had a really nice line here. Be pretty happy with him. Chris Middleton tonight, shot wasn't really falling, was only 4 of 15 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3-point range, 4 of 4 from the line for 13 points, 2 steals, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, but having a great year and just a really good fantasy guy, man. Chris Middleton just does it all. Eric Bledsoe, this team has so many great fantasy guys, and Bledsoe's another one. 23 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 threes, shot a very efficient 8 of 10 from the field. Hurt you a little bit from the line tonight, 4 of 9, but man, you'd be happy with that line from Bledsoe. Brook Lopez, 8 points, 3 blocks, all right. 10 double-digit rebounds and 3 blocks from Brook Lopez. I like that, man. Also gave you 2 threes, so don't worry about the 8 points, man. You got 3 blocks and some rebounds from this guy. Good game from him. Brogdon, 13 points with 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Love the 8 boards from your point guard. That's nice. 1 3, 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line. It's pretty good. The bench was pretty mediocre. Ilyasova with 8 points. Not much else here. Neil, what are your... Oh, I should mention John Henson is out for an extended period of time. Doesn't really change much for fantasy. It's not like he was really relevant. And Thon Maker's not seeing any extended minutes. He only got 4 minutes tonight. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, this is a team that has a lot of different options, but yet they all produce at the top. So this is great. So happy for Middleton. I don't know why I've always liked that guy, but he's been good for several years now. Last year, he really just came into his own and became a really good NBA player and fantasy player, and doing it as well this year. Not much else to say. Lopez, I'm seeing a 67th overall in per game in ACAT. Yeah, he has that rare combination of blocks and threes. Sometimes you're deficient in both those categories, and you can't find one guy who does both. He is probably the best at that combination, so someone he may need to target if that is your case. But other than that, not much else here to talk about. The other thing is, I'm surprised about is DiVincenzo. Oh, he was inactive, so maybe he's hurt. I thought he was going to get a little more run, but anyway, tonight doesn't.
I'm reading that he suffered a minor left quadricep strain in Wednesday's game, and he will be out the next 3 games. So we should see him back in the rotation soon, and still hoping eventually he can kind of carve out some fantasy value maybe at some point of the season. All right, man, I think we got one more game, the Mavericks and the Grizzlies, and then I think there's one other game that you may need to do without me, Neil, because it's still going on. Are you seeing the same thing?
I am, but I'm going to go really slow so that you have to stick around and do the last game with me. All right, Memphis-Dallas, 98-88. Dallas on the short end. So I will start off with Luka Doncic, 37 minutes, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. Inefficient night, though, 6 of 20 shooting. These are going to come, but he's still shooting so well. Or well enough that you don't worry about this in one bad game. 3 3-pointers and a block. I'll go to DeAndre Jordan next. 17 points, 20 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. This guy's just had a nice free throw shooting year. Good to see that. Harrison Barnes got 37 minutes, 10 points, a rebound, and assist. Very inefficient, though, 3 of 14 shooting, single three-pointer. Dorian Finney-Smith, someone I streamed in DFS, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3 three-pointers, 2 steals, and a block. I think he might be valuable for that format as long as Wesley Matthews is still out. Dennis Smith Jr. actually had a decent night, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 or 5 from the line, 3 three-pointers, 2 steals. Off the bench, Jalen Brunson getting 25 minutes. Might have to start watching this guy and see if he ever gets in there. 8, 4, and 4, 2 of 2 from the line, and a steal. Maxi Kleber, someone I think who can do decent value if he got more minutes, but tonight just 21 minutes and 2 and 2. And then Devin Harris, 17 minutes. Not much to else report about fantasy-wise. I think the only thing I'm thinking here is Dorian Finney-Smith. Short-term could be valuable. Maybe not in fantasy leagues, but maybe in DFS. And then Harrison Barnes, I'm staying away from. Never been really much of a Harrison Barnes guy. And then he can be so inefficient like tonight. And they've got other options now with Doncic there. So any thoughts on the Mavericks?
Just want to add that, JJ Barea is out of this lineup. Wesley Matthews was out of this lineup tonight. Dwight Powell also out. So maybe a little interesting. I do love your take on Finney-Smith. He has shown in previous games this season he can have some value. So, and lines like tonight is why. So savvy move, man, playing him in DFS tonight. I think that was pretty great. And then Doncic, man, as you mentioned, a rookie, nights like this was going to happen. In fact, Neil, one of the things I worried about, and I'm really high on Doncic, I thought the shooting could be really inconsistent, and he has actually been pretty good for the start of the year. So I think this was just somewhat of an outlier blip on the radar type game here. Grizzlies play some pretty good defense, and I'm going to jump in on the Grizzlies side, kind of lead into that. Going to start with Mike Conley. Neil, I'm kicking myself a little bit because I stayed away from this guy because he burned me the last 2 seasons with injury. And, from a reality standpoint, I'm a Conley fan. I love his game and really happy to see him having a good season. 28 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shot an efficient 10 of 18, was feeling it tonight from downtown. 7 of 11 from the 3-point range, 1 of 2 from the line. Outstanding game from Mike Conley. My boy, JJJ, Jaren Jackson Jr. Neil, I was a little concerned with JaMychal Green coming back, man, but I love that JJJ still starting. Got the bulk of the minutes here, 36 minutes for 13 points, 4 blocks tonight, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Didn't hit a 3 tonight, 6 of 13 from the field. Kept his fouls down, only 3 tonight. Love that. Marc Gasol, big double-double, 17 points, 15 rebounds, 4 blocks tonight. Just brought it tonight. 1 steal. Little inefficient shooting, only 6 of 16. Took 5 threes, didn't make one. 5 of 6 from the line. Still a pretty good game from Marc Gasol. Garrett Temple, man, teasing us again, man. Flirting with, do we need to pick this guy up or not? 12 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 threes tonight. A perfect 4 of 4 from the line. I don't know, man. Slow-mo, not happening for him tonight. Still, the usage is still low. Only took 6 shots for 8 points. Love the defensive stats, though, man. 2 blocks, 2 steals, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. The minutes are there. I think you're sticking with Kyle Anderson. Off the bench, a couple quick guys I want to talk about. Mack has been pretty good. Shelvin Mack tonight only saw 18 minutes for 3 points. As I mentioned before, JaMychal Green's back, and actually in 15 minutes, had 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, a block. So actually put up a pretty good game in just 15 minutes. Neil, my fingers are crossed that this guy is not going to cut into JJJ's production. What are your thoughts on the Grizzlies, man?
Yeah, I'm not worried about JJJ. I own him in the one league that we're in the same together, and
we're playing against each other,
and we're playing against each other this week. So I'm so happy this line, and I would never have taken him if you were not in the league with me. So thank you.
Neil, you know what, Neil? I feel like you just stabbed me right now with my own sword, man. I feel like that's what it feels like. Me playing you this week, you using JJJ against me, man. I am getting stabbed with my own sword right now. It's okay though, Neil.
I'm doing everything I can just to try to beat you. And I will say probably the second most boring guy in fantasy is Garrett Temple. 12, 2, and 5. My God, this guy, he doesn't do anything well. He's just like does everything like really just mediocre and kind of hovers in like the 120 range. So yeah, I don't like him on a fantasy team. Kyle Anderson, the other one I'm still kind of watching. He's been dropped in some leagues. You know, he's kind of fallen out of favor with many owners because he has kind of had a frustrating start outside the top 150. Tonight, again, he's never going to get you points, but he got 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, and those are pretty valuable in terms of fantasy value. And I think he's going to continue to get. He got 33 minutes. He was plus 16 in the plus minus on a 10-point win. So this guy is going to be a stalwart for this team, and I think he's going to do a lot of decent. I mean, he's going to be pretty good. He's going to probably end up around 100. May not get like the top 70 range that some people have predicted, but I think he's going to end up somewhere around 100 by year's end. So may want to scoop him up if you need those other stats and can afford the low points. All right, we did it, or you did it, I should say. I still have one more game to go. Are you out?
Yes, I got to run.
All right.
Neil,
you actually have responsibilities in life. I'm just here drinking water, eating bad candy. So I'll say you want to sign off, and then I'll be back.
Yes, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hit me up on Twitter at Adrian Benjamins. Love hearing from you guys on Twitter. Neil, I know. I think you're going to be out tomorrow. You're hitting the road. So
yes, I'm traveling, so I will not be here tomorrow. But it'll either be you solo, or have you found a special guest yet?
I may have a guest so that you guys don't have to hear me talk by myself. Much more interesting when I have someone to talk with. So I'm looking to line up a guest. Should happen. If not, I can hold down the fort on my own. But Neil, I will miss you, man. But I believe you will be back for Wednesday's show. So looking forward to talking to you then, man. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Neil will be back for the Thunder and the Kings.
All right, on to the last game of the night. Nice win for the Sacramento Kings, 117-113 over Oklahoma City. Exciting finish down the stretch. They got off to a big lead and then held off OKC down the stretch. On the OKC side, the one sort of a different thing tonight, Hamidou Diallo did get the start. Get to his line in a little bit here. Let's start off with Westbrook, though. Comes back in after the injury and then some the personal time off with 29 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 12 of 25 shooting, including 4 3-pointers, 3 steals. Great line from him. Paul George, another good night, except for his inefficiency. 27 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 of 5 from the line, 4 3-pointers, 2 blocks. Did go 9 from 22 from the field. Steven Adams, double-doubles, 11 points, 15 rebounds, assists. 1 of 4 from the line. Struggled so far this year, again from the line, down to 54% on close to 5 shots a night. So that is tough to absorb. Anyway, did have a steal and 2 blocks. The mentioned Diallo just played 22 minutes. Tonight he did have a good line. He had 18 points, good line, I should say, in points. Everything else was kind of non-existent. 1 rebound, 1 assist. He went 7 for 7 from the field. So if he doesn't, and 2 for 2 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 2 steals. If he just goes 3 for 7 from the field, this line looks a lot worse. And so don't dive in just yet, but keep him on your watch list. Jeremy Grant, someone I've been watching, and tonight did not do much. 8 points, 1 rebound, 3 of 9 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line, though, and a block. Someone who has found his way to maybe relevancy in 12-team leagues, 123 overall, but and per game value. But ACAT still not there for me, though. It just doesn't do enough in the categories I need in my roto leagues. Off the bench, Dennis Schroeder gets 29 minutes, but just in a horrible shooting night. Perhaps this is the reason why they lost. 3 of 17 from the field. Just 6 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 0 of 7 from three-point land, and a single steal. TLC gets 25 minutes, 11, 5, and 2 with a three-pointer and a steal. Patrick Patterson comes off the bench, plays just 15 minutes, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Only thing to take away from here is Westbrook is back, which means Schroeder is probably going to fall out of the top 100 pretty quickly, and probably maybe even out of the top 125. And his percentages could be awful. And if you're a 9-cat league, his turnovers could be high as well. Jeremy Grant still watching. Probably someone I'm never going to pick up. It just doesn't get enough. Has so many duds that it can just demoralize me. And then Diallo, I'll watch. I'll see if he see how he comes along. But right now, I don't really think too much of him in terms of fantasy ownership. On the winning side, Sacramento, start with De'Aaron Fox. He struggled tonight shooting, 1 of 10 from the field. So only had 6 points, but did have 13 assists. Great night there. 3 rebounds, and no defensive stats. Let's see. Buddy Hield, someone else I was really excited about last year, and good to see he's still performing this year. 25 points on 9 of 18 shooting, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. Amon Shumpert, still starting, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 9 of 18 from the field, 4 3-pointers, 4 steals. This is someone you have to start to watch. Got 30 minutes tonight. He can put up defensive stats, and if he's going to start getting this many shots, that was the one thing in his fantasy game that just really made him irrelevant. I mean, he was only shooting 7 shots coming in until tonight, the season, so kind of been overlooked because he doesn't really do much in terms of rebounds or assists. But if he's going to start getting double-digit shots, and then he's a free throw guy. He's shooting, 85% on the year, so he doesn't hurt you there. He can steal. I got 4 tonight, just 1 for 1 on the season. 1.1 steals on the season. So, but someone to watch as a specialist if you might need some of those stats. And then Bielitsa still starting. 23 minutes, 12 points, 8 rebounds. Someone, unfortunately, is on the way down with Bogdanovic now back in the rotation, coming off the bench. And then, as you may have heard the news out of Sacramento, some disgruntled front office talk about Marvin Bagley not getting enough minutes. So if you own Bagley, or if he is not owned, pick him up immediately. I think this 26 minutes tonight is a harbinger of things to come. He is probably going to see 25-plus minutes a night going forward. And tonight in 26 minutes, he had 15 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 11 shooting. His free throw percentage is not that stellar. It's just 63%. So that could get worse as he takes more shots and gets more minutes. Tonight, 3 of 6 from the line, 3 blocks. So that's the one category where you have to be worried about him. And then the aforementioned Bogdanovic, 25 minutes, 16, 5, and 3, 6 of 13 shooting, including 4 3-pointers. He is currently at 167 on a per-game basis, and I think will easily climb into the top 100 by season's end. Bielitsa, who is Like I said, probably going to drop out pretty quickly from the top 100. If you could trade him to someone else, I'm probably too late at this point. I would do it. Maybe not drop just yet, unless, well, actually, I would drop him. But if you've been hanging on to him and don't know who to really get just yet, see, maybe it does play out slightly differently. But I believe Bogdan will get the bigger share of minutes there, and Bjelica won't get much more than the mid-20s and maybe even less than that going forward. All right, that will do it for tonight's box score breakdown. Thanks again for listening. My name is Neil Rochlani. You can follow me on Twitter at ballwithneil, BALLWITHNEIL. Please follow me. Hit me up with any questions, comments, criticisms, thoughts of life. Love to hear from you. Adrian will be back tomorrow, either solo or with a guest, and then I'll see you on Wednesday.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.